Hey, Happy New Year's, everybody. I'm here with the Anna Fong, my lovely wife, and we're gonna just be talking about when we started our business, like who was our first hire? When did we know we needed that hire? Having that first hire is very important. I think as you're starting as a solopreneur and then trying to get some momentum, you need help. Who should that first hire be? And we talked about some of the cool people we watch in business, like Grant Cardone. His first hire was an HR person in accounting. He wanted somebody to help get the whole people stuff right, and then to make sure his money was flowing. Then recently, I heard Patrick Bet David, it was an old tape, and he mentioned there's an exercise you should do to evaluate who should be that first hire. And so he said, if you are like a technician, like most people who start business, they know how to do something good, but they're not really good at sales, then you need to hire a salesperson. Or let's just say you can bang it up in sales, but you really don't know how to like fulfill, then you need to bring in an operations person. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I know we were debating on this because my insight is that in our experience of building a business, one thing that I feel that you can get caught up on is the administrative part of building that business. Now, right, I'm talking about after whether you have a business plan or you know what your plan of attack is, however you do it, casually or formally, but that you already know what is going to transpire and now you have to hit sales, you have limited amount of time in the day. And when you're bogged down by paperwork or by potentially follow-up calls or just there's so many administrative tasks that go along with building a business, that the first hire for me is an EA or an administrative assistant, a strong one, right? So you want to hit the ground running and you want to offload those things so that you do have the time then to interview an HR person or an accountant or whatever it is that those first leadership roles that are going to move the needle is going to help you focus on. So that administrative assistant or virtual assistant or EA, depending on your budget too. But I would say it really does require for that experience somebody who really does know how to support C-suite or a founder.
All right, cool. Now, interesting. Let's just turn that question on me. So for me, like, you know, I'm a relationships person, and so I love building relationships. I love doing the sales part. I really like talking to people and listening and understanding. I used to know how to fulfill, like my background was IT, so I know how to do some technical stuff. But operations and administrative and organization, that wasn't my strong suit. So for me, my first hire is a person that understands operations, that understands how to put things in order. For you, what would you say? Beyond the EA.
Beyond the EA, yeah. So once you have that solidified and you have that administrative help, you know, so that you can focus on the bigger picture, my first hire is an HR person because now you have to hire other people. And it does take time and effort, and you want to be able to work with that HR specialist, whether it's a consultant or, you know, part-time person, to be able to build that culture right away and get the right person in the right seat, because that's going to make you successful.
No, that's interesting you say HR, because if that's your second hire, I'm just assuming they're going to hire other people, I guess.
Yeah, operations, the two of you. Right?
So for me, I mean, the lifeblood is either sales or operations to me, but I would put HR under operations. I mean, under operations, you can have like IT people who know technical stuff, the HR part, compliance, finance, you know, whatever you want to put under there. But to me, either you out there hunting, bringing in money into the business, or you're helping me organize to fulfill stuff. So very interesting. EA though, that's important. You mentioned that. EA, I remember that was my first hire of getting an EA, as you mentioned, getting somebody to assist in the day-to-day stuff, to hopefully pull me out so I can go crush more sales as opposed to being bogged down in the office. So when would you say it's time to, you know, begin bringing on people? There's a lot of people that's probably watching us that's a solopreneur. They're probably killing it, you know, but don't realize how they can probably even maximize or 10x their business, you know, by bringing in that aid. Is there a certain like threshold or a certain signal you would have when you need to think about bringing somebody in new?
When you can't focus on sales growing the business. To me, that's the lifeblood, right? So if you don't have sales, you don't have a business. And so if you're getting bogged down by, again, the administrative part or trying to hire, because that takes time to recruit, to interview. So when you're basically at that point that you can't do everything. I think that's a topic we've hit on before, that sometimes as an entrepreneur you think you have to do everything and wear every hat. You really don't. That's not really how you grow. So being able to let go of the vine, let go of and delegate those responsibilities so you can grow.
For me, if I had to put a number on it, I heard a lot of people say it's $250,000. So if you're a solopreneur, you want to at least get to $250,000 to at least show that there's some kind of proof of concept of how you know how to go out and get money. And then typically what you look at, I heard Brandon Dawson talk about this, $250,000, basically $250 per full-time hire. So if you're looking to bring in 2 people, you should have a path to getting to $500,000. But for yourself and then getting an EA, or at least a virtual assistant, you should be at $250,000. Let's talk about how to vet. Like, what do you look for, in a great EA? How do you know this is the person? There's a lot of virtual online assistants. I get hit up all the time about virtual assistants who they can do all this stuff. How do you find and how do you vet for a good EA?
To me, that person has to come to an interview positive, ready for the interview, professional, because they're going to be representing us not only, virtually or over the phone. So they have to come professional. They also have to have a resume and book of references that can actually speak to their strengths, speak to them being supportive to the C-suite. Not only is it about chasing emails, but you have to have great organizational skills. An executive assistant really has to love what they do. This has to be their genius zone. They have to have peripherals and think 3 steps ahead of me. So that's what I look for, is somebody that really loves what they do and really wants to continue the career and growth in that. And they love operations too. They're great with organization. They have great peripherals, positive attitude, know how to build rapport very quickly. So I want that EA to be able to talk to a client, and I'm not going to be wondering what they're going to be saying or if they know how to explain anything to the client. I have full trust in their professionalism and their understanding, their conversation with a client or with a team member, or whoever that is.
So for me, I would take a different approach. So based on what you're good at, so like to say, if I say in terms of the 3 pillars it's needed for business, sales, ops, and finance, what have you, I was great at sales, but I suck at operations. I need that to be, as you mentioned, that needs to be their genius zone. So whatever you suck at, whatever your weaknesses are, that person needs to be to the nth degree in terms of having that as their genius zone, like you say. So not only are they good at it or great at it, but they love it. I remember one EA we had, they truly loved just doing paperwork, which I hated. We're in a very regulated industry, a lot of compliance and regulations we must adhere to. And so they love dealing with all that government bureaucracy stuff. So that's vitally important. We built a little kind of thing for it. We talked about pyramid, our ideal EA. At the bottom, that is basically what you were talking about, removing administrative tasks. So that's like maybe 30% of their job. The second thing is they need to be a great gatekeeper. So they need to guard your time like Fort Knox. So when people calling you, soliciting, or if they're finding you in meetings too long, or whatever you're doing that's not productive of moving a business forward, their deal is to call you to the carpet and keep it moving. And then the third thing that they need to be is they need to be able to begin systematizing your business. So things that you're just doing on the fly, whatever it is, making calls or emails, their goal is to come up behind you as they remove those administrative burdens or tasks, that they begin to systematize that. And then the final pinnacle of my great EA rock star is they're in it for the long run. They truly embrace your vision of growing your business, and they're gonna also be doing the research to understand, hey, you need to be at this conference. Hey, I heard about this thing. Why don't we pitch this person? Why don't we do this? And so to me, if you have those 4 key pillars, man, that's your rock star. That's what's gonna help you 10x your business.
Yeah, separately, I think it's that culture fit, right? That yes, chemistry, culture, you know, that will help for that chemistry with the relationship and partnership that you have with that EA, because not only is an EA responsible for what's happening professionally, but also personally, because sometimes it's intertwined. Again, that EA has to be your gatekeeper and confidant. So you have to trust this individual with confidential information, but also personal information, right? This person is such an essential part of the business and an essential partnership to your success in growing and focusing on sales and the marketing of the business and bringing in the sales. So,
well, there you have it, folks. I hope this was helpful to you. In fact, in the link below, we're going to drop our guideline that we just talked about. It's a pyramid, basically 4 pillars to a great EA. It's a free download. Hopefully it helps you out in your journey of exploding your business in 2024. So be on the lookout for more content. And we want to know what's your goals, or what's been your experience in hiring great EAs. Be sure to subscribe, like, give us a thumbs up so you won't miss the next information that we're ready to drop to you. So be blessed, stay tuned, and
ciao.
Be well.
It didn't work.
Oh, it didn't work.